Fierce starts next Tuesday on ITV at 8 o'clock in the evening. The thing is, Steve, when we say fierce, I mean, it's hardly a recommendation, is it? I mean, are we watching because we want to be scared?
No, absolutely not.
Yes, we are.
Well, I don't think you should. I mean, my whole ethos for life and for animals is that wild animals barely ever mean us as human beings any harm. And that's why I went for the title Fierce, really, because fierce, it does have that air of I guess, savagery, but at the same time, now it means cutting-edge cool. It's kind of street slang for something that is absolutely on the money cool, and that's what I want people to think when they see these animals. I want them to be fascinated.
Like seeing that, the most poisonous snake, the most deadly spider, the biggest shark. I think there's a kind of voyeurism about it, isn't there, for us?
There is.
We'll never be that close.
I think there's a universal fascination for animals that we think could possibly do us harm, but the statistics absolutely prove that they don't. I mean, all of the world's species of sharks kill fewer than 10 people a year around the world. You're more like... Last year, more people were killed by selfies than by sharks. More people are killed by falling coconuts. So I want people to be excited and fascinated, but not frightened, not ever frightened of wild animals.
Why are you not frightened? Let's go back to when you were a kid. What was your introduction? It was hardly to a pussycat or whatever. Where did you start?
It was pretty much as tame as it gets. You know, I grew up in a small village in the home counties on a place where we had lots of animals, lots of domestic animals. We were on the edge of the Surrey heaths, so we had wild animals. Backshall in Surrey. Yeah. But the wild animals we had were blackbirds and grass snakes. You know, they weren't tigers and lions. So I have been introduced from the start to every single kind of wild animal. And I'm just as fascinated by moths and butterflies as I am by big cats.
So did you have that kind of idyllic childhood that we all think we'd love our kids to have now, where you just kind of run off into the fields, off you go with your butterfly net?
Yes, yeah, absolutely, I did.
All that kind of thing.
I look back on my childhood with just utter joy. I'm very lucky in that my parents are mad keen on the outdoors and on travel and on adventure, and they brought us up on a small holding surrounded by rescue animals. We had an asthmatic donkey and
They were
geese.
good people.
They were good people.
Yeah.
Well, they still are good people, yes.
Yeah, that's good. But then, how would you describe your job? Because you've been on TV for many, many, many years, quite a lot. Because
you can stop at the first many.
My eldest boy's 27, and I can remember watching your programmes on the BBC and whatever with him when he was young, and the youngest one's 14 now, and I remember watching the evening time. So that's a large span of time.
Yeah, I made my first wildlife programme in 1998, and I've been lucky enough that I've managed to stretch it this far. Let's hope that it doesn't end
What are
soon.
you by profession? If we would ask you what your job is, what is your job?
It's a tricky one. I steer...
Madman?
Well, my mother would certainly say that, yes. I mean, I steer away from things like adventure and explorer because they sound so pretentious. I don't consider myself to be a scientist, although I study science. Perhaps a naturalist, I think, would be the best description.
Well, and a very excitable television presenter and very engaging, and that's why we love watching, because you clearly love what you do. And we quite like that you do all the up-close and personal and dangerous stuff.
Could I ask you a biological question? What comes out the back end? Because snake skin, no, in fairness,
no, it's a great question.
Very durable. It could be a handbag, it could be shoes.
Comes out as a pair of shoes.
What comes
I would less talk about the handbag and the shoes angle, obviously, but no, it's a fantastic question. And the reptiles that do take on their food whole, they have extraordinarily potent stomach acids. I mean, if you, for example, take the dung from a crocodile and you grind it up in your hands, it's like chalk. There's no prey remnants in it whatsoever. They're all digested. And it's the same with these big snakes.
Gosh.
And that is a king cobra. It's the biggest of all venomous snakes. And
but I see there you with a lot of local people. So as part of this series, the people that live amongst these animals all the time.
Very much so, yes. I mean, that was a big thing that I wanted to take things forward with this one. So far in my career, it's mostly been about getting into the wildest places that I possibly can, away from people. This time, I wanted to find out a bit more about how local people react to the animals that live in their world. You know, what's it like to live on the edge of a river where there are...
on your doorstep,
with a tiger on your doorstep, with 4 metre long crocodiles in the river alongside you. How do people react to them? And overwhelmingly, those people find a way around it, just like we find a way around having cars.